Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Glad I'm here. I wasn't sure if I was going to be here yesterday. I was just getting over a little bug I caught in Tennessee. I'm feeling a lot better today. Had to fight the flesh a little bit when I was waking up, which I know that everybody, that's relatable, you know. But yeah, so for those who didn't know, I was at a conference this past week called Zayit Advanced through First Fruits of Zion. And that's basically was a gathering for young Messianic adults to have fellowship and potentially meet a spouse. Those are their words, not mine. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of folks there, 140, I think, 170 people altogether, but 140 young folks. There were people from the U.S., Israel, Canada, Japan, and Switzerland. So yeah, lots of people from all over the world. And just as a quick side note, this is not part of my Drash, but there was a movie by a guy from First Fruits of Zion named Reed. He has a production studio in Nashville called 4910 Productions, and they just made a new movie called Sojourners and Exiles, I believe. It's going to be out in a month, but they want to get the hype up. So if y'all are interested, I really think y'all should check it out. It's a great movie. We got to see a little preview of it. It was really well done. I was surprised. It's basically about persecution all over the world. Started in Africa. Guy lost everything, his family, his village. He was the only survivor with some Islam extremists. And then we went to Jordan. There was a guy who had lost all his friends for his support of Israel, being an Arab and living in very much Islamic territory. But the theme of the conference was the cost of discipleship is worth it. That was the theme. And but they also didn't nullify the fact that you need to count the cost of discipleship either. And the main teachers were Bill Schofield from California for the Apocalyptic Gospel podcast, and then you had Damian Eisner, Boaz Michael, and Daniel Lancaster was also there. And they had a Q&A session, and somebody asked in the Q&A session, it was Boaz Michael and Daniel Lancaster asking the questions. And one of the questions was, are there ranks in heaven? Are there different rankings in heaven? And Lancaster, without batting an eyelash, said, yes, for sure there are. And it kind of reminds me of this parsha a little bit because, as brothers, we get it. It's easy to rank ourselves either by age or this skill or that skill with mom and dad, But in particular, I was thinking about Ephraim and Manasseh and thinking about being the oldest. I always want to be at the top of the dominance hierarchy. I have to be the best. I feel like it's my duty in the household to be the number one of everything when it comes to my siblings. But in this case, Manasseh was the oldest, and he did not get the larger portion, which I would have been a little maybe upset about that, I think, if I was Manasseh. And as we know, it seems like any embarrassing story in the Torah is not hidden. Levi and Simeon killing Shechem and Judah and all them selling Joseph. So as far as we know, there were no fights that broke out with Manasseh. So I thought that was a notable character trait on him. As far as we know, he didn't do anything crazy. Reminds me of what Yeshua said, that act of humbleness, kind of stepping down for Ephraim to take the larger portion. Yeshua said, it reminds me of this in Luke 14:7-10. This is in the ESV translation. Now he told a parable to those who were invited when he noticed how they chose the places of honor, saying to them, when you are invited by someone to a wedding feast, do not sit down in a place of honor, lest someone more distinguished than you be invited by him. And he who invited you both will come up and say to you, give your place to this person, and then you will begin to walk with shame to take the lowest place. But when you are invited, go and sit in the lowest place, so that when your host comes, he may say to you, friend, move up a little higher. Then you will be honored in the presence of all who sit at the table with you. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. So although this does not excuse or encourage complacency, it does remind me, at least, that maybe we should be less worried about our rank in the kingdom. It's like, where's this? Isn't that Lucifer's great fall? It's just that rank wasn't enough for him, no matter what, to the point where he wanted to be greater than God. And in the garden, wanting to be more than just, people in the garden and all that. Our focus should always be towards Yeshua. And everybody in the kingdom, least the greatest, is going to get to see Yeshua. And that's pretty exciting. So that's my Drash, and it's good to be back.